Wow, that was sweaty. That was a sweaty game to watch, but the Miami Dolphins come out on top 20 to 13 over the Las Vegas Raiders. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Fuel channel where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. Wow, what a game. What a stressful game to watch. The Dolphins win 20 to 13 over the Las Vegas Raiders, and there's plenty of negatives to get into with this game. I'm happy we got the W. We're 7-3. We got a huge advantage with what happened last week with the Jets and the Bills, and we came out on top. The defense was balling today. 3 turnovers in the second half on Aiden O'Connell. Let him get a lot of passing yards at that last drive, but 3 interceptions. I will take that any day of the week. So the defense and Vic Fangio, kudos to them. Besides one play, which Devontae Adams beat Deshaun Elliott, I thought the defense was stellar today, man. Just like they were in the Kansas City Chiefs game. No one's hurt. I'm thinking Jalen Ramsey's okay. After that interception, getting up after being on the ground for a little bit, hyping up that Miami Dolphins crowd. That was a cool sight, man. Jalen Ramsey is an absolute dog. But let's address the elephant in the room. As good of a performance the defense had today, this game should not have been as close as it was. The offense was bad. That's how I'm going to put it. The offense had a bad performance today. Between throws that Tua Tagovailoa was making, even though he threw for 325 yards, there were some throws in there, man, that was just really, really bad. Fumbles. Julian Hill had a huge opportunity today with Durham Smythe out with an ankle injury. Julian Hill, it was his time to step up, and the first pass that Tua threw to him, he fumbled. He will not see the ball again for a very long time. He will only be in there for blocking. That's why we need Durham Smythe, because Durham Smythe is strong, and he's not going to fumble the football in that situation. Tua fumbling the football on the first drive, got to take care of the football. The turnovers are killing this team, man. That's what killed them today. Turnovers, the play calling by Mike McDaniel left so many points on the field. And if this is a game against the Jets, who we play Friday, or if this is a game against the Baltimore Ravens or the Dallas Cowboys, the Dolphins are looking at an L. The Dolphins are looking at an L with the horrendous play calling from Mike McDaniel. 4th and goal at the 3-yard line, or 4th and 1. You have to get 1 stinking yard, and they throw a fucking bubble screen that gets blown up. Horrible. And then there was just a lot of times in this game when it was 3rd and short, and he did not run the ball. And his problem with trusting his running backs to pick up 1 yard on short yardage, it's a problem, and it could potentially hold the team back. This reminded me of the Steelers game from last year, the game that I was at. This reminded me of the Steelers game with the 4th and 3 call down at the 15-yard line. You kick the field goal and you go up by 9 points, and they run the ball and it gets blown up. And short yardage, they threw the ball, and it was terrible passes from Tua. And that's what happened today. Short yardage, terrible passes from Tua. You have to punt. The special team stinks too. our punter and kicker, I don't know what is up. Thankfully Jason Sanders redeemed himself and he made a 51-yard field goal, but he's got to be consistent, man. He's got to be consistent with his 50-yard field goals, because if that could come back and bite the Miami Dolphins. It almost did today, but he's got to make those, man. And Jake Bailey's just a bad punter. Jake Bailey stinks. I really don't know what to say about him because he's a punter. So he's bad. He's a bad punter. But the offense and Mike McDaniel, they need a slap in the face because what we saw today is not good. With the fumbles, the play calling has got to change. I'm sick and tired of the cute play calling, man. I'm tired of it. He did the same thing against the Kansas City Chiefs with that bubble screen right before halftime. You run the ball twice and you pick up 20 yards on the last drive, only to throw the ball 3 times and lose the game. And then today you get on these short yardage situations and it blows up right in your face. The screen. All you have to do is run the ball 1 yard with Raheem Mostert. You don't think Raheem Mostert can pick up 1 yard? Come on, man. He's killing me with my anxiety with this offense. And this offense needs to get it together before they play legitimately the best defense in the AFC in 5 days. They need to get it together. Because at the beginning of the season, it was the Dolphins offense putting it together, and the defense was lacking. Now it's the defense putting it all together, and the offense is lacking. The Miami Dolphins have not had a team win since the Broncos game, when the defense forced 3 turnovers and the offense scored 70 points. The Panthers game, they were down 14-0, and the defense was bad in the first quarter, and the offense came alive. They have not had a complete team victory since week 3. And one of these weeks, they're going to have to put it together and get an overall team victory. And I don't think this game on Friday is going to be easy. I don't care how bad Zach Wilson is. Their defense is a Super Bowl caliber defense, folks, and they can keep them in games. And hell, they can win you games. So we've got a big one next week. Let's get into some stats. Also, before I get into this game, be sure to go ahead and check out previous videos on the channel. Last night, for the wrestling fans, AEW Full Gear Review. I'll put that up at the end of the video in the last 20 seconds. You can click on it, and it'll take you right to the video. Okay, let's get into the stats. We'll start with the Raiders. Aiden O'Connell, 24th for 31, 271 yards, which a lot of those yards came on the last drive of the game. He had 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. All 3 of those interceptions came in the second half of this game. They did a really nice job containing Josh Jacobs today. He went off the last 2 weeks. Today, he had 14 carries for 39 yards. Love it. Devontae Adams, 7 catches for 82 yards and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 4 catches, 49 yards. Michael Mayer, 4 catches for 46 yards. Hunter Renfrow, 5 catches for 42 yards. And Trey Tucker had 2 catches for 36 yards. The Raiders had an interception by Isaiah Palomeo, and they had, let me see how many sacks they had today. They had one sack today by Max Crosby. For the Dolphins side of things, Tua Tagovailoa, 28 for 39, 325 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Raheem Mostert, 22 carries for 86 yards, and Devon Achane only had 1 carry. He got hurt on the second play of the game, and now he's an injury-prone player. I don't know if the team rushed him or not. From what we heard on Twitter with the beat writers, he looked great all week leading up to the game. Yesterday, he was activated off IR, and now he's hurt again, and now we're risking him not playing against the New York Jets. Disastrous situation right there. He wasn't ruled out the entire game. He was standing on the sideline in his uniform. I don't know if he's going to play against the Jets. With a quick turnaround and a game on Friday, it's going to be very much up in the air if Devon Achane is able to play in the game, and we are going to need him with his speed against that defense. Tyreek Hill had another great game. 10 catches, 146 yards, and a touchdown. Jalen Waddle, 4 catches for 55 yards. Chosen Anderson had 2 catches for 39 yards. Salvin Ahmed had 3 catches for 25 yards and a touchdown. And Cedric Wilson Jr. had 3 catches for 23 yards. You look at the defensive stats for the Dolphins. Jalen Ramsey had 2 interceptions. Jalen Phillips had an interception, the big man. He had a great game today. Both these guys had a great game. So we had 3 interceptions. Jerome Baker, Xavier Howard, and Jalen Phillips all led the team in tackles with 5. Jalen Phillips had 2 sacks today. Christian Wilkins, even though he didn't have a sack, he wants to get paid. He needs to have big-time plays. And today, with that Jalen Phillips interception, he had a big-time play getting that pressure on Aiden O'Connell. And Aiden O'Connell just lofted that ball up. And it fell right into the arms of Jalen Phillips. So that was it. Those were the sacks for the Miami Dolphins today. Let's get right into it. Raiders, Dolphins. Raiders got the ball first. They go 4 plays, 11 yards. First play of the game, Michael Mayer for 17 yards. 3rd and 16. Aiden O'Connell threw to Michael Mayer. Andrew Van Ginkel punched the ball out. Javon Holland had a scoop and score touchdown. They replayed it, and it was an incomplete, which I disagree with. He took 3 steps and then fumbled the ball. They say he never had control of it, and he was incomplete. So Dolphins punted, and they go 3 plays, 13 yards on 3rd and 4. 2 scrambles for 7 yards, and the ball was punched out at the it was punched out at the 30-yard line, and unfortunately that ball was a fumble. It was punched out before his knee was down, and it was a turnover for the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders then go 7 plays, 14 yards, 3rd and 7. Aiden O'Connell hits Michael Mayer for 12 yards down to the 15-yard line. The Raiders get called by offensive pass interference. It's 1st and 20. Davante Adams for 7 yards. Then Xavier Howard makes a great read on Aiden O'Connell, and Davante Adams loses 1. And on 3rd and 14, Aiden O'Connell to Hunter Renfrow for a 3-yard gain. The defense held the Las Vegas Raiders to a field goal from 34 yards. The Raiders are up 3-0. The Dolphins, they go 8 plays, 75 yards. Tua to Devon Achane for 4 yards. That, I believe, was the play that he got injured on because he limped right off the field after that play, and he never saw the field ever again in this game. Raheem Mostert up the middle for 7 yards and a first down. 3rd and 11, Tua was sacked, but a penalty on the Raiders for defensive holding, so the offense caught a break right there from that holding penalty. The ball's at the 40. Raheem Mostert for 4 yards. Then Tua to Tyreek Hill for 18 yards and a first down. Tua incomplete to Jalen Waddle, and then Tua was able to thread the needle to Tyreek Hill. Tyreek goes up and get it, and he beats 4 defenders around him. Tyreek Hill gets into the end zone, 38 yards and a touchdown for the Miami Dolphins. They're up 10-7. This was the only blunder in the game from the defense on this next drive. The Raiders went 4 plays, 75 yards. Aiden O'Connell to Trey Tucker for 17 yards, first down. Josh Jacobs for 9 yards. Then Aiden O'Connell picked up the first down himself. And then to end the quarter, Aiden O'Connell threw a really nice pass to Devontae Adams, who beat Deshaun Elliott and Xavier Howard. Elliott stumbled, and Adams was able to get the 46-yard touchdown from Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders were up 10-7 over the Miami Dolphins at the end of the first quarter. Then the Dolphins go 12 plays, 68 yards. Raheem Mostert for 10 yards. Raheem Mostert for 3 yards, 3rd and 7. Tua was able to hit Tyreek Hill deep right for 21 yards down to the Vegas 41-yard line. Cedric Wilson for 9 yards for Tua. Salvon Ahmed was able to pick up the first down. 2nd and 5, Salvon Ahmed only picked up 1 yard, but a face mask called on Tyreek Wilson from the Raiders. 3rd and goal, false start from Austin Jackson. 3rd and 10, Tua threw a screen to Salvon Ahmed. He needed 10. He got 9. They went for it. All you need to do is hand it up the middle for 1 stinking yard. And what does Mike McDaniel call? A bubble screen to Tyreek Hill, and it gets blown up in the backfield by Nate Hobbs. And this was actually the play that Tyreek Hill injured his hand on, and he had to leave for the next drive. Luckily, he was able to come back, but just run the ball up the middle. Just run the ball up the middle. I don't get the common sense from Mike McDaniel on this play call. I don't get it. You need 1 yard, man. 1 yard. And they threw a screen, and it blew up right in his face. The next drive, the Raiders went 3 and out, and the Dolphins started at their own 37-yard line, and they were able to redeem themselves on this drive. Tua to Jalen Waddle for 9 yards. Raheem Mostert picked up 4 yards and a first down. Tua hit Jalen Waddle for 12 yards. Tua then hit Jalen Waddle for 15 yards. Tua to Chosen Anderson for 9. Tua to Alec Ingold for 2 yards, and then Tua went down. Liam Eichenberg blew his block, and a lot of the times the offensive line was getting obliterated by the Raiders' defensive line, and Tua was able to get it out fast, so we had to run away and throw it away. Cannot begin to tell you how much this team needs Robert Hunt. Liam Eichenberg missed his block, forced Tua to run, and Max Crosby got the sack. And then Tua, nice play design by McDaniel. I believe this was probably drawn up for Devon Achane, but it was Salvon Ahmed who went out, cut back in, and was able to get the walk-in touchdown. Dolphins are up 14-10. The Raiders go 3 and out. 3rd and 4. I really want to bring this play up, man. Bradley Chubb with the fantastic tackle to prevent the first down from Josh Jacobs. Again, I will say it again. The Bradley Chubb slander needs to stop. He's a beast on the field. He's playing up to his contract, and any criticism of Bradley Chubb needs to be stopped because, he's the most consistent playmaker. He's the most consistent player on the defensive end for the Miami Dolphins. He is the most consistent guy on defense. He's an animal. He's legitimately an animal out there. So now the Dolphins, they get the ball back with 1:18. I'm like, okay, you got 1:18 to at least go get a field goal before halftime. Raheem Mostert gets a 10-yard run. I'm like, okay, I like where this is going. Tua throws to Julian Hill for 10 yards. It's punched out by Nate Hobbs, and the Raiders fumble. Again, I said this earlier. Durham Smythe didn't play today. He had an ankle injury. This was the big opportunity for Julian Hill to impress us. And the first pass that Tua threw to him, he fumbled. So now Julian Hill will not be seeing the football. Luckily, the Raiders were only held to a field goal, 4 plays, 3 yards. Josh Jacobs for 3 yards, then incomplete by Aiden O'Connell, and another incomplete pass in the end zone by Aiden O'Connell. And Daniel Carlson kicked a 47-yard field goal, and it was 20-13. I'm sorry, that was the final score. It was 14-13 Miami Dolphins at halftime. So there was a lot of instances with bad play calling. 4th and goal at the 3-yard line, throw a screen to Tyreek Hill, and it gets blown up. The first play of the second half, I don't understand this. Why you're throwing a deep ball to begin the second half and get Tua all rattled up? I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand. Why not just start the half with a run? He throws deep to Jalen Waddle, and he had his guy beat, but Tua threw it late. It was overthrown by 5 yards, and it was an easy interception for the Raiders. It was an easy interception for Paulo Mayo, and the Raiders had the ball, and they went 3 and out. Josh Jacobs on 3rd and 1, up the middle, stopped by Christian Wilkins and Jerome Baker. Whenever this defense needed you today, man, they came up huge. The Dolphins go 8 plays, 48 yards. 2nd and 8, Tua went deep to Tyreek Hill and connected for 31 yards. Then 2nd and 8, Tua went to Tyreek Hill again. This time for 10 yards down to the Vegas 34-yard line. Raheem Mostert for 1 yard. Tua to Cedric Wilson for 2 yards. And Tua on 3rd and 7, incomplete to Cedric Wilson. And Jason Sanders came out for a 50-yard field goal. And the man is money most of the time. He's money inside 50 yards, inside the 50-yard field goal. He kicks a 50-yard field goal, and it's wide left. The man is the most inconsistent kicker in the NFL, and the Dolphins need to go find a new kicker and a new punter in the offseason because it's bad. Jason Sanders is not who he was in the 2020 season anymore. So the Raiders missed a field goal, and the first play on the next drive, Aiden O'Connell is picked off by Jalen Ramsey, who was attended to Trey Tucker. Jalen Ramsey making plays, man. You love to see it. The Dolphins can't get a touchdown, but they do get a field goal. 7 plays, 30 yards. Raheem Mostert to the right side for 7 yards. Then 3rd and 2. They throw the ball, but luckily Jalen Waddle was wide open, and he got 19 yards and a first down. Raheem Mostert for 3 yards. Then 2nd and 7, they throw it again, and Tua stared at Jalen Waddle the whole time, and he's lucky this ball was not intercepted because Robert Spillane had it in his hands and dropped it. He's lucky that that was not a pick six, because if he caught that, he's gone. He stared at Jalen Waddle the entire time, and that was nearly an interception for the Las Vegas Raiders. Then on 3rd and 7, he goes to Waddle again, and it's incomplete. And Jason Sanders is good from 41 yards. Raiders go 3 and out again. Josh Jacobs for 1 on 2nd and 2. Then on 3rd and 1, Aiden O'Connell up down the middle to Davante Adams. It's incomplete. The Raiders get called for offensive holding, and it's declined. The Raiders punt. The Dolphins start at their own 15-yard line. I guess you can say this was a good drive. 8 plays, 52 yards. 2nd and 6 at the Miami 19. Tua deep left to Tyreek Hill, complete for 25 yards, down to the 44-yard line. 2nd and 8, Tua to Cedric Wilson for 12 yards. That was a tight throw from Tua. And Cedric Wilson had magnets for hands and was able to come down with the catch. That was awesome. 1st and 10, Tua to Alec Ingold for 9 yards. Then here we go. Another instance. You need 1 yard to pick up the first down. Tua, short pass left, throws it to the ground because there's no one open. Then Tua, pass again to Alec Ingold, and it's incomplete. McDaniel, instead of going for it on 4th and 1, he sends Jason Sanders out there for a 51-yard field goal, and he nails it right down the middle. So at least Sanders was able to redeem himself, missing a 50-yard field goal. He made a 51-yard field goal right down the middle. Dolphins up 20-13. 1st and 10 at the Vegas 36, Jacoby Myers for 7 yards. Then 2nd and 3, Aiden O'Connell is incomplete to Davante Adams. And on 3rd and 3, Aiden O'Connell was sacked by Jalen Phillips. Jalen Phillips made the big plays today, man. He made the big plays. And then the Raiders had to punt. 4th quarter, Dolphins go 3 and out. They go 3 and out. The Raiders, they go 6 plays, 19 yards. Aiden O'Connell to Josh Jacobs for 12 yards, gets the Raiders to the Miami 38-yard line. Then an end around by Trey Tucker. Kader Kohu blew that up immediately, and Javon Holland was able to make the tackle of loss for 6 yards. Then Aiden O'Connell, he completed a pass to Trey Tucker for 22 yards. Mike McDaniel threw the challenge flag because Trey Tucker did not get 2 feet in bounds. Going into this, Mike McDaniel was 2 for 9 on challenges, and now he's 3 for 10. Mike McDaniel won a challenge. 3rd and 16, the Raiders picked up 13 yards to Jacoby Myers, and on 3rd and 3, in the end zone, Aiden O'Connell overthrew Jacoby Myers. So, turnover on downs for the Raiders. The Dolphins, they go 3 and out once again. Holding on Teron Armstead makes it 2nd and 15, incomplete to Tyreek Hill. And then on 3rd and 15, Tua to Raheem Mostert for 7 yards. And Jake Bailey, after a previously terrible punt, has a 66-yard punt, and the Raiders start at their own 13-yard line. Aiden O'Connell finds Jacoby Myers for 24 yards on 2nd down, and Xavier Howard gets called for pass interference. 1st and 10, Josh Jacobs for 4 yards. 2nd and 6, Aiden O'Connell down the middle to Hunter Renfrow, breaking tackles. The tackling was really bad on that drive for 31 yards. Aiden O'Connell was sacked by Jalen Phillips. Aiden O'Connell to Hunter Renfrow for 7 yards. Then Aiden O'Connell down the middle to Trey Tucker. The blitz was coming, and O'Connell threw it a little bit behind Trey Tucker, and Trey Tucker dropped it. Then on 4th and 6, the pressure came. Once again, Christian Wilkins had O'Connell wrapped up. O'Connell threw it up for grabs, and Jalen Phillips came down with the interception. Miami goes 5 plays, 12 yards. Raheem Mostert, 7 yards. Raheem Mostert, 4 yards. Raheem Mostert, 4 yards. Raheem Mostert for 2 yards. 3rd and 4, you knew this was going to be a pass. Tua, the offensive line is blown up by the Raiders' defensive line. Nearly gets pressured, and Tua has to throw this away. It's 4th and 4, and the Dolphins punt. So this is the last drive of the game for the Raiders. This is their last chance. After we just got an interception from Jalen Phillips, the offense gives the Raiders offense one more chance in this game. Aiden O'Connell to Devontae Adams for 6 yards. Incomplete to Devontae Adams. Then on 3rd and 4, Jacoby Myers for 5 yards and a first down. Aiden O'Connell to Trey Tucker for 19 yards. Then on 2nd and 6, he's incomplete. He overthrew Devontae Adams, who was wide open. And he gets him on the next play for 20 yards and a first down to the Miami 39-yard line. I'm standing at the TV. I can't sit down. And I'm terrified that the Miami Dolphins are about to lose this football game to the Las Vegas Raiders. 1st and 10, O'Connell incomplete to Austin Hooper. Then he takes a shot into the end zone to Jalen Ramsey, throwing to Trey Tucker in the end zone. Jalen Ramsey comes down with his second interception of the game to win the Dolphins the football game. He landed on the football. It took the wind out of him. He got up, all excited, pumped up the Miami Dolphins fan base, and Jalen freaking Ramsey wins the Miami Dolphins the football game despite a sloppy offensive performance. The defense came through today. The defense was ready, even though the defense was ready, even though the even though the offense had a really bad performance today. Look, man, I said it earlier. I'm happy we got the win. You look at it, a win is a win. That's what they say. But the mistakes that the Dolphins offense made today, it wasn't about how good the Raiders were playing defense. It was the Dolphins making mental mistakes and bad play calling by Mike McDaniel. It was bad play calling by Mike McDaniel, and it was bad execution by the offense. The offense needs to lock in at practice this week, and Mike McDaniel needs to get his head out of his ass. Because if he tries to call up the cute plays against the New York Jets, who they play on Friday, they're going to be in for a long day. They're going to be in for a long day. The defense, Vic Fangio, round of applause. Great calling today. He was looking bad the first 4 weeks, man. Everybody was saying, oh, what a bust Vic Fangio is. I didn't call him a bust, but I'm like, man, you got to wake up. And, as they say, it takes a half a season for players to get used to a new system. And I feel like this defense has changed since the return of Jalen Ramsey. They were great against the New England Patriots. They didn't allow a single point to the Chiefs in the second half in Germany. Patrick Mahomes threw under 200 yards in that game. And today they had 3 turnovers. They won the Miami Dolphins this football game. They won them this game. and now the Dolphins are 7-3. They're going to be at least a half a game up in the division, a game and a half up in the division. And I'm telling you what, man, I will nail it over the head. They've got a big one on Friday. I can't wait for Friday at MetLife against the New York Jets. It's a big game, man. We got the Jets on Friday. Then we play the Washington Commanders Week 13, who lost to the Tommy DeVito New York Giants today. And then we play the Tennessee Titans at home on Monday night, who are 3-7. I will be at that game. I will be vlogging at that game as well. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm very excited about Friday's game. It's a short week. Dolphins got to get ready. No playtime. No playing around. Get straight down to business. Get ready for the New York Jets. I'm guessing it'll be an off day tomorrow. They'll practice Tuesday. They'll practice Wednesday. And they will be off to New York Thursday, is my guess. So, that's all I got, man. What a week of content. 6 videos for you guys. I think next week, I'm only going to do 2. With the game being on Friday, my plan is to do the preview for the Dolphins-Jets game Wednesday night here on the Big Fight Fuel channel. Preview that game. I don't think I'm going to be doing Week 12 predictions because I have a big test to get ready for on Wednesday. So I got to study on Tuesday night, and I got other assignments. I'm super busy these next 2 days. But I'll be doing a preview for Dolphins-Jets on Wednesday. Celebrate Thanksgiving on Thursday. Watch some football with the cousins and my family. And then Friday, it's game day, man. Friday, it's game day. I haven't done a pregame show live. I'm thinking about doing one on Friday. I'll let you guys know. But I'm getting out of here. Your Miami Dolphins win at Hard Rock Stadium, 20-13 over the Las Vegas Raiders, and are 7-3. An ugly win, but as they say, a win is a win. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Subscribe for the Jets content and much more. Again, I'll be vlogging in Miami in 3 weeks' time. I will be in Miami. I get in December 10th, and the game is December 11th on Monday Night Football against the Tennessee Titans. My buddy who I'm going with is a Tennessee Titans fan, so it's going to be a nice back and forth trash talking game. Comment down below your thoughts on the Dolphins getting this win over the Las Vegas Raiders. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me, and follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph. I'm out of here. Have a good one. I'll see you Wednesday for the preview of Dolphins Jets. Have a good one. Stay safe, and as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace.